Hi, everyone, and welcome to this episode of Soul Seeds, where my guest expert for today is Elizabeth. And Elizabeth is a mindset and manifestation coach. And the topic we're going to talk about is creating your experience through mindset. So, welcome, Elizabeth. Thank you for being here.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. And I would love to know, how important is mindset when you try to create the life that you want to live? Really?
Oh, mindset is essential, right?
Mm,
Because it really is the start of what it is that we are creating.
mm,
So we say in the manifestation world, it starts with a thought. That
mm,
thought creates an emotion within our body, which then puts off a vibration to the universe, to the world. And that also dictates your actions that you are taking on a daily basis.
mm,
And then the universe responds by bringing you what you are a vibrational match to. So
mm,
we can only manifest and experience what we are a vibrational match to. So again, it starts with your thoughts
mm,
going to an emotion, and that creates your experience. So it's so
mm,
important to pay attention to what you are focusing on in your mind, because where your attention goes, energy flows,
mm,
right? And that is
mm,
what we're bringing in. So that's why it's so important to really cultivate a positive mindset, but
mm,
also understanding like we're human, so we're going to have negative emotions. Like it's
mm,
only natural. But it's what you do with that negative, thought that you
mm,
have,
right.
and negative emotion that matters. How long are you sitting in that negative thought and emotion, and what
Mm,
meaning are you giving to it?
right.
So and then learn to shift and come from a place of neutrality
Mm,
instead of giving meaning to everything. And that's going to help us remain in this positive vibration, this
mm.
positive mindset that we want to be able to start attracting things from.
And because we tend to label our thoughts quite intensively, I think, something is really good or really bad. I
Yes.
think, and I
Yes.
think if you can just let your emotions, like also the good ones, but also the bad ones, let them just be and be a bit more neutral about it.
Yes.
Then also like the negative ones that you feel can flow and go again.
Yes, we can release them instead of pushing them down, right? Because,
Mm,
and that's why it is important to pay attention to when you're having these negative thoughts and emotions, but asking, where is this coming from?
mm,
Why am I having these thoughts, these emotions, instead of just ignoring them and pushing them down into your body? Because that's not going to serve you either.
that will stay
So
stuck in your body, of course.
exactly. And it will manifest in other ways, not only in your experience, but it can manifest in physical pain or, anxiety or
Yeah.
just other things that we don't want.
Disease. Really. Yeah.
Disease, exactly, disease. So
Yeah.
really, it's again, not giving meaning to these quote unquote negative thoughts and emotions, but
Mm.
understanding why you're having them and how you can shift the perspective on them.
Mm. And how important is it, as you said, to focus also not just on your thoughts, but also everything you feel inside of you to allow that to be there?
Right. So, feeling is the secret. There's a
Mhm.
book, Neville Goddard wrote,
Right.
Feeling is the Secret. It really does help you shift your vibration to manifest the things that you desired. Because as I said
Mm.
earlier, you can only attract what you're a vibrational match to.
Right.
So, we do need to pay in emotion is essentially vibration, right? The
Mhm.
vibration you're putting off. And there is lower vibration emotions, and which is like anger, jealousy,
Mm.
sadness, grief. And then there are higher, frequency emotions like love and joy and happiness. And so obviously we want to be up here to be able to manifest and create that higher frequency life of beauty and joy and happiness. So that's why
Mm.
it's so important to pay attention to what is your dominant thought and emotional state that you are in on a daily basis.
Mm.
Again, negative thoughts, lower vibrational thoughts and emotions are going to come in, but as long as it's not your dominant energy, it's
Mhm.
okay. We don't have to beat ourselves up about it, right?
Right. And is shadow work like the things that you're really not very conscious of that affect your life as well? How is that important as well in manifestation and mindset work?
Sure. I truly believe that being aware of these thoughts and emotions that are not serving you, and releasing them with love on a regular basis is
Mm,
essential. You may not even be aware that they're there. They might be in your subconscious. And as you get into this work, the mindset work,
mm,
shadow work, self-image work, growth and development, you're just going to begin to peel the layers. So, something that even if you've been in this for a couple years, there are still things that are coming up for you,
mm,
right? That you didn't know were there, that were so deep rooted. Or as
mm,
you raise up to a new level of frequency, then there's new things that might come in,
mhm.
that are challenging you. And
Right.
then you realize, oh no, 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 I don't need to allow this to
Mm,
come into my environment, to my being, because I know how powerful I am. So it is a constant,
right.
it's constant work. It's not like, okay, I've done the work for a year and
Yeah.
I'm done. And now
I'm done
everything,
healing now.
I'm done
Yeah.
healing for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
Like,
Now only
no,
good things happen.
like this life is a journey, and it's what it's about, is constantly growing and expanding to a
Mm,
next level of yourself, of, getting closer to your true self, your most highest, your higher self.
mm. And is it also related like to your purpose, knowing what it is that you truly value and what you want to be and do in life?
Yeah, so I truly believe that your purpose can change,
Hmm.
throughout your life, because really essentially your purpose here on this world, in this human body, in this human experience, is to grow and to expand.
Hmm.
Like that's what it is. So but a lot of us want to, have that like career purpose, life purpose,
Mm.
right? Like what am I here to do? And so
Right.
that's what I mean by it can change, because you can be one thing here for this time. And then once you've learned and grown in every way possible in this area, then it's time for you to go to the next thing and
Hmm.
grow and expand and help people in that way. So
Mm.
I do, and some people do just do the same thing their entire life, and that's
Hmm.
okay too, right?
Right.
Because that's
Yeah.
their experience they wanted to experience in this lifetime as a
Mm.
soul.
Yeah, I think also when you experience different things, you heal on different or deeper layers. Your needs, of course, like change and what you want to experience change, right?
For sure. And whatever it is that you really you're wanting to experience in this life, you can experience
Mm.
all by changing your perspective. And so
Mm.
I think, learning how to change your perspective on any situation is
Mm.
really going to help you with your mindset. Right. So, instead of giving judgment to everything, like we said earlier, putting meaning, how can I come from a place of love
Hmm.
and compassion and understanding, rather than a place of judgment
Right.
and giving meaning to this thing of whatever's going on in my life? And what is this trying to teach me here? And
Mm.
also realizing that, like, if something involves another person, that you're saying, well, this person hurt my feelings, or this
Hmm.
person did this, or and I don't like how it feels. 9 times out of 10, whatever that person over here did has nothing to do with you.
Right.
It has to do with their life, their journey, their limiting beliefs, or their things
Right.
that they're working through right now.
Right. Their wounds. I always say to people like what they think of you has nothing to do with you.
Exactly. It's none of your business. Bob Proctor used to say that all the time.
Exactly.
And if you're not familiar with Bob Proctor, he was one of the professional personal development industry leaders. And
Hmm.
he always used to say, what anyone thinks of you is none of your business, because it
Exactly.
should not affect you and it doesn't matter.
Yeah, because we all experience our emotions different, and even like we can interpret the situation completely different, even if we have experienced the exact same thing or witnessed the same thing. We all have our own truth, of course.
Yes, because what is your truth is not my truth, right? We
Exactly.
all have our own truths, and that the only truth that matters is your own.
Hmm. And how much power does our mindset have? I mean, I think I already know, but could you explain how much power does our mindset have? What can we achieve when we like dream big?
Yes. So a lot of the personal development gurus will say, 95% of your success is mindset and 5% strategy. I
Hmm.
think my mentor even says 99% mindset, to be honest. Like she's
Yeah,
very into like, because, you can have the best strategies in the world
mm,
for success, but if you don't believe they're going to work, they
right.
will not work. because
Yeah.
energy precedes the outcome. So
Mhm.
we have to be in the right energy, and the energy of, believing that this is going to work for us, this strategy is going to work for us in order for that to do it.
Mm.
And having this belief that whatever strategy I use is going
Mm.
to work for me and works.
Mm. I love that quote that you said, energy precedes the outcome. I mean,
Hmm.
that really says it all, right?
Pretty much all over 100% of the time.
Yeah,
Exactly.
because sometimes I know some people who just seem to have this tendency to attract quite bad things in their life, or like just some negative experiences. And then they come to me, and then they, complain and moan. I'm like, oh. And
Yes.
then I'm like, yeah, you really have to switch up your mindset and think of the things that you do have. I mean, like you say, you have a
Yes.
roof over your head, you have food on your table, you have clothes to wear, you have a job, even though you may not be very happy with it, you have a
Right.
job. Not everyone can say that right now. So yeah, I see that a lot of people tend to be this magnet to negative experiences, really. So it's important then for them to switch their mindset, obviously, right?
Right, because you're attracting what you're giving focus to. So if you're
Mhm.
constantly focused on all the bad things that are happening in your life, you're going to
Yeah.
continue to, attract those things because you're observing your current reality and becoming an emotional and vibrational match to that current reality. If you
Right.
want to change your reality, you have to shift your mindset first and start observing the things in your imagination, how you would love life to be, because
Hmm.
that's going to shift your vibration. And then you will begin to attract those new things that you would love to bring into your environment. I always say worrying is like praying for what you don't want
Oh
because
yeah.
you're focusing on what you don't want. And worrying is just a useless, way to use your energy.
Mm, I agree. I agree. But I also think that, when you have these negative thoughts, it's like some people aren't really even like aware that they have them.
Because we've been
But when
doing
I
them
hear
for
them,
so we've been doing it for
right,
so long.
exactly. Yeah, it's like, do you hear yourself talking? I mean, you talk a lot of negativity, but I haven't heard you said one positive thing yet. And when you actually tell that to them in a nice way, of course, they're
Yes.
like, oh, I wasn't really, well, I was just, venting a bit. And I was like, yeah, but still, what you attract then.
Right. But you know what? I used to be the same way. I used to be a worrier. I used to, focus
Mm,
on negative things and complain all the time. And I truly believe when that person, that soul is ready to become aware of
mm,
this material, like, mindset manifestation material, how to change your life, they will meet somebody or see a video or, hear something that was
mm,
like, whoa, like
mm.
they'll finally pay attention to it when they are ready. Because if they're not
Right,
ready, it will go in one ear out the other. They won't even
right.
see
That's
it,
true.
right? So the universe has a way in divine timing of bringing you the opportunities, the information, the people, the mentors, when you are ready to
Mm,
actually accept the information and begin to make the
mm,
shifts. And so that's why I think our work is it's so beautiful and important, because we are helping. Because like when I started this, I was like, man, I love this work. I would love for others to be able to feel the way I do right now and be able to make the shifts I've made in my life. And that's how I got started into this.
yeah. Well, thank you so much for today, Elizabeth. It was a joy to talk to you. Thank you.
Thank you so much for having me again.
Thank you.